Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
What a pleasure to talk to this legend, Trey Lewis. He is the founder and CEO of Good Landing Recovery. Trey, it's taken me a while to catch up with you. You're moving fast and furious. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
Dan, Trey and I have known each other for, I'm trying to remember, probably about 3, 4, 5 years, maybe. This was BB before Beard.
Before Beard, so he probably didn't even recognize you.
Yeah. And listen, he's been shaking the planet for years and years. And I said, hey, let's catch up. And here we are. Here he is. How are you? Doing well then, huh?
Doing well. Yeah.
Good. We are on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on the radio. We wanted to catch up with you about Good Landing Recovery. First of all, how did this all begin for you? You are the founder. You obviously had something in mind. How did it all start?
Yeah. So I'm in long-term recovery. I got saved in July of 2005 while I was serving in the Air Force at Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. And so my life before that was a mess. I went through 10 treatment centers. I had 4 DUIs.
Wow.
I was an IV drug addict. And so when I got saved, I said, if God can save somebody like me, then he can save anybody, anywhere, anytime. And so I went from there. I went into ministry, went on staff at a church. Which would eventually lead me to a company where I was traveling and helping pastors and ministry leaders with their 501c3s and how to start ministries and church-owned businesses, et cetera, which was ultimately I was teaching people how to do what I believe what God had called me to do. And then I got the infamous phone call in March of 2017 by the co-founder, Bobby Humphrey. And he called me and he said, Trey, he goes, what are you doing with your life? And I heard it sort of as an insult and just thinking like, what are you doing with your life? And I'm thinking, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm killing it. I'm traveling. I'm making more money than I thought that I'd ever make, coming out of what I came from, my background. And he followed that up with, I just think that God has so much more for you. And, whatever that is, he goes, I want to get behind it. And that's really what sort of set everything into motion. And then we launch Good Landing in November of 2017, got our first client. And then, here we are today with 90 clients and approximately 40 staff.
Wow. Did you ever think that it would blossom into this after just what? You said 2017 is when that happened?
Yeah, 2017. I mean, you just have to realize
3 years. So
yeah, I was thinking about that this morning, and when I went in to the company that I was working for, and I said, hey, I'm getting ready to transition, and I remember coming home that night, and I'm looking at my children, and I'm looking at my wife, and I am thinking, what in the world did I just do? What was I thinking? And all of that, I think any entrepreneur finally gets to the place where they're saying, hey, I'd rather risk it and fail than just to play it safe. But I knew that if it failed, I wasn't going to be homeless, but I also knew I couldn't just walk back across the street and find another job with the culture and the job satisfaction that I had going into it.
Yeah.
And God used a young man from my hometown. He's 29 years old. His name was Cliff Heaton, and just came from an incredible family. And he died of an overdose. And his sister posted one of his baby pictures, and it resembled one of my children. And I'll never forget. I mean, God just used that to shatter me. And I just said, man, there's just no way that we can play it safe. And we've got to jump off this ledge and see what God is going to do.
Wow.
We've got Trey Lewis, CEO and founder of Good Landing Recovery, on with us, Facebook Live, YouTube, and on the radio. Couple of questions, Trey. No doubt, because of the pain that you've experienced over the years, that helps you as you look at an addict as someone that does have hope. And you guys have the resources and obviously God involved in bringing them hope to get them on the other side of it. But tell us specifically, how do you help the folks that come into your program?
Yeah, thanks. So we're a full medical clinical program. So that means that we've got a staff psychiatrist, we have a doctor, we have 2 nurse practitioners, we have 9 therapists, we have a certified personal trainer that runs our fitness program. among many other support staff, that's really the team that we put around the people that are coming in, and we keep Jesus at the center. And so everything else is integrated into the fact that we know that God is the ultimate healer, and we create an atmosphere where people can really change. It is a we understand that it's not a one size fits all, and so we're able to work with people's level of willingness. So if they're outpatient, then we can do outpatient. If they want housing, then we have sober living, we have housing, and then the level of care that we are in the continuum of care, then we are partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient. We also have Zoom. So we have just about we have evening classes for those who work a traditional work week. And then we have, just more of a full-time schedule as well.
And how do you see now? Obviously, you've got all those different aspects from having staff doctors and psychiatrists and all that. But how do you see God work? I mean, having that piece is different than your traditional, I guess, outpatient type of treatment center. Having the God piece, how does that make the difference in everything?
Yeah, I mean, that was a game changer with me. After going through 10 treatment centers, I finally have a real encounter with Jesus, and that changed everything. So, I mean, that's what, and what's interesting, you make the distinction. And whenever I think about my life and I think about my children, and if, God forbid, something happened where they had to be in a treatment center. And this is what I think it's so important for churches and anybody, any person of faith that loves the Lord, is saying, man, if I take my loved one at their most vulnerable point, and then I put them in front of a therapist that doesn't have a biblical worldview or doesn't love the Lord, and they could actually believe that it was their Christian faith or, their this kind of heavy-handed, approach to morality or something that might be driving their addiction.
Yeah.
And somebody could actually trade one life for the other. So, I mean, the fact that, and we all obviously know that that's not true. So to be able to put them in the environment where they can know the Lord is everything.
Yeah.
Good Landing Recovery. You can go to goodlandingrecovery.com. Trey Lewis, founder and CEO, on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on the radio. Trey, we've been 5 months now, maybe 6. I've lost count. In COVID-19, a lot of people stuck at home, some back to work. Has the phone been ringing off the hook since COVID?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has. I mean, it is, with what we thought that we would do by December 31st, we did on August 5th of this year, as far as people that were, coming into the program. And, you're seeing this. I mean, you saw the alcohol sales spike, by, I believe 53%. In March of this year over last year. And you're just seeing, people that might have, just because of the framework of their job and some of those, guardrails that maybe they had in place, now they're able just to, go stock up on alcohol and drink all day long. And so now I think we're seeing the aftermath of people spending that season drinking and just trying to figure out some way to cope with the uncertainties of everything that we faced.
Trey, do you have a cool God story that you can brag on with something that he's done through Good Landing Recovery recently, somebody that you guys have been able to touch?
Absolutely. I had a friend of mine from my hometown, and, we're getting ready to run this story even more now because he's coming up on a year clean, but he got caught in this really embarrassing moment where he was dressed up in a Captain America costume, just under the influence. And he ended up getting arrested, and they took his picture and they posted it all over the world. I mean, New York Post. I mean, it was over in Japan. I mean, it was literally worldwide. And so this guy's in jail. And, and while it is funny, there's just, no other way. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, what people don't understand, there's a mom that's watching her son being plastered all over the world. And she is just mortified. And I knew this guy from my hometown. So I connected with a friend of mine. I said, hey, look, if there's any way to get him over here to Good Landing, just send him, we want to help. And he came here, God help, came on staff. And then he is getting ready to celebrate 1 year clean this month. So,
wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a million of those stories like that, but one that had that kind of press, and then to see it on the flip side is a big deal to me.
Very cool.
Good Landing Recovery, Trey Lewis, founder and CEO. Trey, let me give you the website here, and it is goodlandingrecovery.com. So someone that is wanting to get into the program, how does that all work? What do they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, they can go to goodlandingrecovery.com, the website, and my number is there. They can call me direct, 770-570-7422. And I will be happy to personally walk them through the process on being able to get in. And so we take insurance. We're also private pay. If there's any way that we can work with them on the private pay side, then we'll do that. We also have ways to help with financial hardship, et cetera. So. Yeah.
Don't you love being able to see something that happened in your life that was just terrible when it happened, but God has turned that and used that for not only your good, but for the good of so many others as well?
Amen. I mean, that is when you look back at all those wasted years and all those just days, just the time that you've wasted there, and to think that God is so good that he's actually able to weave that in and use. I mean, he just doesn't waste anything. I mean, any of our pain, any of our stuff, even the stupid stuff that we did, that he uses that to be able to help other people. I mean, I just look at it sometimes and just think, man, only you, God, could be this merciful.
Yeah.
Going from ashes to beauty, yourself and all the folks that Good Landing Recovery is helping. Dan put the website right there. It's easy to get to, goodlandingrecovery.com. Trey, we got to take a break. You're a huge blessing. Thank you for saying yes instead of, are you kidding me? I'm working my tail off for Jesus.
Right.
But thank you so much. That's encouraging, because sometimes when those things are said to us, it can jolt us and wake us up to say, you know what? There's something else that I need to do. I need to get in my place and my purpose. So it's goodlandingrecovery.com. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.